What's up? What's up?
What's going on? What's going on? Shout out to Sister JJ. How you doing?
I'm doing well, my brother. I'm doing well.
That was such a fire intro, man. Music, everything on point. You say you ain't got time, man, but look at you. Y'all did that like in a very short number. That's amazing.
I
So
love it. I love it. I love it. I wish I had thought about it. I would have put a Matrix background up here for us.
yeah, it's so good. That was man, that was crazy. So yeah.
So I figured we'd do something different today
Okay.
because a lot of the inspiration that I get from a lot of, the things that I do comes from a lot of the beliefs that I have that are similar to Neo in the Matrix.
Hmm.
And, Neo, he didn't believe in fate, because he thought that it wouldn't, allow you to be in control of your life,
Yeah. Mhm.
which to a point, I believe that's true. I think you have to have aspirations and goals and things like that. And sometimes it feel like fate's happening, like a serendipity type of thing, like something feels like it was meant to happen.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we all know you make what's meant to happen, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah. You pretty much control your destiny, really. I don't believe
Mm-hmm.
there is like a scripted end for you. I don't believe that. Now you can't predict the future, but I feel like if you enrapture yourself so much into that into the future, you can't get lost in the present. You
Yeah. Shout
so
out to everybody in the chat. Shout
that's
out to Self Made. Shout out to Queen Royalty. I see you. Shout out to King Fuse Lit.
Man, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to Keith Hughes there, Juju No Soups. I see
I see you, Danetta.
Danetta, Queen, hey man, shout out to the whole family, man, pulling up. Let's get it. Let's go.
So,
Yes.
have you seen any of the Matrices?
Oh man, it's been so long since I was a kid. Really, I've been, yeah, I've seen it since I was a kid. Like it's been a long time. Like I have to rewatch it again. I've always been
Yeah.
watch it, but yeah, I've seen it since I was a kid. So I was really young when it came out. I think
Yeah.
when was the year they came out?
So
Nine.
you were
Yeah,
like
I was 6 years old.
six six or some shit.
Yeah, 6 years old. Yeah, I was 6, 7 years old. Yeah, so I was like little
Wow.
baby right there, little baby DZ. Oh,
Baby D.
yeah,
Yeah, the thing is, you guys of your generation, were so young when that came out, but that moved a lot of people at that time, like in their real lives, and I'm one of them. You know,
yeah.
that first movie was so deep. I personally like the first one the best out of all three of them
Most definitely.
because it's kind of like that underdog thing that we got going on, with new media. It's like, he was just this normal guy, but he was this hacker with
Mm,
extraordinary capabilities. And because of that, he was able to pull things off that most people couldn't pull off, probably because of his thought process.
no process. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Morpheus knew that he had that in him and that he was meant to be the one. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Well,
And go ahead.
yeah, that's a very interesting that you know, that you're doing this because um like when you say underdog, it's interesting how you relate that to what we went through, because I feel like a lot of people you know are looking at us as underdogs out here, and I like that. I love that mentality, you know what I mean? And I feel like, yeah, that's you're definitely right. That's why so many people are able to relate to like a Neo, because a lot of us are living in a sort of a matrix, you know
Right.
now we kind of trying to obviously go through these obstacles that we are in, and all pretty much we got big corporations against us and all. There's a lot of there's a lot of obstacles on YouTube that we have to deal with. I mean, we're not even monetized yet, you know what I mean? And I know Brad
Yeah.
talks about that, like how we kind of have to to go through that and everything. So we should. It's not all about the money at the end of the day. It's all about really how passionate we are about that. Um.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, Rev, I sent you a link if you want to pull up, honey. He said he's watched every last one of them.
I've got to break this
He said
down,
he
man.
know I'm pulling up. He said, I'm pulling up for this one.
Yeah.
But it was. I mean, to me, the first one was the best one out of all of them. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
first one was the best one out of all of them. The rest of them are cool, but they're more cool graphically. I think what happened was that first one broke a lot of rules as far as CGI. And I know you're a tech guy, so you can
Yeah.
appreciate that. Like Bullet Time was revolutionary. There weren't a lot of films that were using that type of technology at the time. So the Matrix kind of broke a lot of molds. Now, of course, after that, and then Trinity freezing in midair, there was a lot of stuff that people hadn't seen yet that
Yeah.
was in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
above and beyond the storyline.
yeah. What would you say is the um like pretty much like what do you think that was Kenya Reeves' best movie to date? The
I
Matrix?
do. I do. It's my favorite. And he's done a lot of good ones. I like Point Break. Point Break was cool.
Yeah, point. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I like Point Break. We got to do some movie reviews, DZ.
Has to, yeah, yeah. We gotta get into that, yeah, for sure. Because I feel like the whole family is gonna appreciate the breakdowns and everything. Because there's a lot of movies that we can kind of get into that I would love to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Johnny Mnemonic. That was and it goes back to the Bill and Ted's Great Adventure days, like the whoa, excellent, and all that shit.
yeah,
He when he was doing those movies, he was really young. He started getting a lot more serious, but I thought they were going to turn him into an action hero, but he kind of does both. I got to
yeah,
give it to Keanu Reeves. He's a versatile actor. Like he was in the movie with Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton, Something's Gotta Give, where he
yeah.
played a doctor. You know what I mean?
I remember that movie. Yeah, yeah. Something's gotta give with yeah, Danny Keenan and what's that guy? What's that
Jack
guy?
Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was a good movie. I liked that movie.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. So
Yeah,
he showed how versatile he was. But when he did The Matrix, I think Neo is probably the best character that he's ever played because it fit him to a T.
it really did. It really did.
It fit him to a T.
And everything, it just the way he was and every because I think he played a lot of these similar roles, especially when you compare him to the movies in like the John Vick series.
John Wick is serious,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, a lot action packed and everything. That's probably apart from the Matrix. I will say that's probably some of my favorite movies I see of Keanu Reeves.
I
Um,
mean, if you look at this picture here of the
yeah,
trailer,
yeah,
of the new one, I mean, come on, it's like a cross between Neo and John Wick.
yeah.
I
It
feel
is.
like this character is going to be.
It is. It's very similar also because I don't know if you have you seen the game of Cyberpunk?
No,
And yeah, so Cyberpunk 2077, pretty much Keanu Reeves acts in that game, and it's really similar. Like they're just the way he looks and everything. He has that sort of. Like, I'll show you the game later. It's very interesting.
I
Yeah,
saw the commercials for it and I thought,
yeah.
wow, is he actually in that game? Like, is he in the game? I thought he might be.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Like it, and the game looks so realistic. It's crazy. It's like you're meeting Neo on the game, pretty much. Just a feature
Wow.
of Neo. Yeah, yeah.
I got to get into that one.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, yeah. I'm a gaming freak, man. I play I played video games since I was a kid, so I'm in.
Wow. Well, yeah, you're a tech guy, so of course you're going to get
Yeah,
into
yeah,
something that has to do with technology.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so the first Matrix, we got it down to a sign. Neo meets Morpheus, and he meets the love of his life. He meets Trinity, who was hot.
yeah.
She was
Definitely.
hot. They had some hot scenes they had some hot scenes in Matrix Reloaded, boy. Like the little
Oh,
Kama Sutra
yeah. Maybe
position
that's
they
why I
had
don't,
going on.
yeah, maybe that's why I don't remember because goddamn, like I gotta go back to I was a kid back then, so I
They were
couldn't.
all intertwined and shit. You got to go back and check those movies out, man.
I'll go back, yeah, for sure.
But the first one, to me, the first one reminds me so much of everything that is going on right now, especially in the world. Because
Hmm.
to me, the Matrix represents what doesn't it represent? It represents the government, it represents big pharma, it
Hmm.
represents the music industry, it like some of the bigger record companies. Prince used to
Yeah,
talk about this all the time, own your masters.
um,
Okay, because Warner Brothers was the matrix for him, and he got that was a smart brother, man. He changed his name to get out of his contract. Come on, everybody thought it was a marketing ploy where he went with the artist formerly known, which he did not name himself. He had no
mhm.
pronunciation. It was just a symbol. But he did that to get out of his contract. He didn't do that just to show off or just to be weird or just to, as a publicity stunt. It worked out that way.
Yeah,
But in a way, he was kind of like the Neo of the music industry back then.
he
You know,
was,
he
he was,
he stepped away from the matrix. He was like, "Oh hell no, I'm gonna do me, and you're gonna allow me to do it." He found a way to hack the contract.
the contract. Yep, yep, exactly. You said a lot of good points because we talked about how Prince, how he went through with what the things that he went through with Warner Brothers. Like, it's like how I feel like they killed him. Honestly, I don't think it's his conspiracy theory. I think
Yeah,
he
you said.
yeah, I honestly believe they did, and Prince is not the only one that is going through those disputes. A lot of these artists are, they sign contracts that end up, I think they call them 360 deals and everything, pretty much where they're locked up in these really bad contracts for life, and they end up just, pretty much
Just owing the record company.
only the right exactly, you know what I mean? So it's a great movie in a way, because it pretty much, like you said, like it pretty much explains all the, puts into perspective everything that we have to deal with, like you said, big pharma, just the government, corporations, and everything, I've yeah
Let
we
me ask you this: Who are
yeah,
the agents? If you could equate the agents in real life, who would they be?
like the Morpheus, for example.
Now, like Agent Smith, like the people who basically haters.
The
I'll go
haters.
ahead and break it down.
Yeah, break it
Those are
down.
haters, people who don't want you to succeed. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
people who are constantly trying to keep you down and keep you basically a slave to the system.
Save to the system. Yep. Yep. Exactly. The people that don't want you to obviously create your own business, you know, hating on you
Yes,
the whole time and all that. Yeah, these agents are that. Yeah, because they always they want to control your thoughts. You know what I mean? They want to
absolutely.
control you, you as a person, and corporations are haters. Because I mean, with what we're going through right now with the whole vaccination, I don't know if you want to touch that, but I feel like we're being forced to take something that we don't know what's in there.
Speak about it. Speak about it. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like a lot of people don't want to touch that. They're saying that, well, yeah, well, if you can't be vaccinated, you're going to lose your job. Look at what Kyrie is going through right now. You know,
Yeah,
why am I going to put? And a lot of people are like, well, that's the NBA. He's supposed, he's getting 200 mil and everything. So yeah, well, he's got to take that.
I
As if
love
that's
what
not
Rev
important.
did yesterday when he had that on the show
Yeah,
because that was, I mean,
exactly.
and he sounded well versed on what he was saying. He
Yeah.
didn't sound like some idiot that just, oh, I just don't want it. He had valid reasons for not wanting that vaccine, the same reasons that most of us have for not wanting it. I'm
Yep.
not going to be a number. I'm not going to be a statistic. How do you know that vaccine is not going to kill me?
Facts. Facts.
Population control, my brother. Population control. We're not stupid.
We're not stupid. It's the thing is though, it's like they are trying to, like, it's like people got amnesia, man, and not to laugh at people that do have amnesia. I'm just saying that as a reference. Like, it's like they completely forget about what those vaccinations are like. Like Brother Barcher, and make sure you go and subscribe to him. He mentioned the Tuskegee, you know, experiments that they did on us.
Right.
It's like people forget those things. Like a lot of black boys, have autism because of vaccinations that and the flu vaccinations. Those vaccinations
That's
are not
crazy.
safe. What's the whole point of a vaccination? To kind of get a dose of work like a
It's to give you antibodies so that
and
your
then
body can fight
antibodies,
off the
yeah,
disease,
to survive the
supposedly.
disease, supposedly.
Right.
Well, how is that safe, even in actual fact? How is that safe at the end of the day? So honestly, like vegan knowledge says, she's like, I was seeing this last night on Red Stream in the comments. Also, are you noticing all the vaccine commercials for stuff we never even knew could be vaccinated? It's like a whooping cough. Exactly. Right there. Right there. It's You're so right, vegan knowledge. Like, they are pretty much putting it in our faces, and it's just not big pharma companies are doing it, but
I know.
big companies like Uber, for example.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, dude, like, every companies that have nothing to do with the vaccination, they'll just put it in your face. And the NBA, like, big corporations, they're putting it out there, but they completely ignoring all the signs. Like, what is the evidence that a vaccination is going to make us susceptible, or it's going to you know we're not actually going to get the virus at the end of the day?
Right.
How's that?
Because there are
Yeah,
people still getting it
yeah, the people still getting it
with the virus,
with the virus. Yeah.
with the vaccine. So,
Mhm.
and it's so funny that we're talking about the Matrix because basically a virus in a computer is the same thing as a virus in a human body.
Yep.
And why would I let you inject me with something that we don't know whether it's going to kill me or make me develop these antibodies? And even if I develop the antibodies, I can still catch it. I'm not
Yep.
putting that shit in my body.
Not putting that shit in your body. Exactly. And they always come up with the argument, Sister JJ. Um, well, a lot of people in the third world countries need the vaccinations. You know what I mean? So you should not take it for granted.
Right.
I'm like, dude, what you talking about, man? What do you mean people in third world countries need vaccinations, man? That's just some nonsense. You know? Why would you
That's
give it to
that's
third
the
world?
Matrix.
Yeah, that's the matrix. Yeah. And another component of the matrix is the media, you know, the media that is
Media
pushing
manipulation, baby.
manipulation. Yeah. They're pushing false information that's not good for us. You know what I mean?
Jen always talks about that because the
Yeah.
food and dairy industry, they are always pushing milk does the body good. Well, we just saw Dr. Miles say, no, it's a slogan. It's not scientifically proven that
Mhm.
dairy is going to help the human body. These are all things in the matrix. These are all wool that they're pulling over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, they'll do anything to blind you from the truth. You know what I mean? They'll provide um whatever false information, just to make sure that you do what they tell you to do. They don't want you to have a mind of their own. The biggest lie that we were given in this world is that we have a freedom of speech.
Yes,
We don't have
we
freedom of
really
speech.
don't.
Yeah,
That's an
because
illusion. That's another illusion.
that's an illusion. Exactly, because you can go on Twitter right now and say that the vaccine is bad for you, and they'll ban your Twitter. That's what they do. They want to control whatever you say. You
You
know,
know, Jen's mom is going through that on Facebook. She can't say damn near one sentence without being thrown in Facebook jail.
that's
And
crazy.
first it was like 7 days, and it was like 10 days, and it was like 30 days. And I mean, all she could do is say something like, oh, wow, that's weird. And she's in Facebook jail. I'm like,
Wow,
come on, man. It's like you are on some type of algorithm because there's no way the things that you're saying you should be thrown in Facebook jail.
that's crazy.
Once they do it, they got you in that algorithm, and then you can't basically say damn near anything before
Anything.
they're throwing you in there.
Wow, wow. For
You
her to
know.
do that, I hope, obviously they don't. Yeah, Facebook is another one. Facebook, Twitter, oh, those guys, man, they're ridiculous. Fact checkers. I don't. I call them false checkers. That's what they are.
That's
You know?
what they are.
That's what they are, man. But
Shout out to
honestly,
self made.
shout out to self-made, man. But yeah, you know, then that is like yo hyping me up to watch them over for real.
Oh man, I'm
Yeah,
telling you, I got all three of them. Sometimes I will sit there and watch all three of them back to back.
for real. Like I need to watch it, man. Like with you, like we should do a whole thing on Discord and everything. Watch it.
Oh, that's right. You said you could watch movies on there, right?
Yeah. Just need to share your screen and everything. I'll share my screen and whoever, and then we can all watch it. Do like a movie party, or Netflix party, or whatever.
Shout out to King Fuselick. Come on in the house, King.
Come through.
How y'all doing? Y'all give me about 5 minutes, all right?
I
All
no
right, we'll
problem,
do.
man. Brother Rev. Yep. Yeah,
I'm telling you, man.
for
You want
sure.
me to take you out, or you want to go out, or you want me to take you out and then pull you back in?
Oh, me? Oh, yeah, sure.
Nah, talking to Rev.
Oh, Rev. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But anywho, yeah, man. I'm like, I don't really remember a whole lot about
Mhm.
Reloaded. I know that was where. Okay, yeah, actually, I do. That was where the Zion. That's where you see Zion,
Mhm.
and that's where he ends up going, and they start worshiping him like he's Jesus Christ. You got kids coming up to him. Can you save me? Can you save me? And he's looking at them like, I'm not that type of savior. I'm somebody that can go in the Matrix, fight the agents, and
Mhm.
help us get to a point where we need to be. But if your child is sick, that's not what this is. You know what I mean? But that's how they looked at him. And we tend to do that sometimes. And Rev talks about this all the time. It's like worshiping false idols or worshiping men.
Yeah,
When we should be worshiping the Most High, which is the spirit and entity and essence that lives within all of us.
that's right.
God is not to say God is nothing, but God is no thing. Okay? God
Wow.
is not a place,
Wow.
person, and has no gender, no color. It's the creator.
He's a creep.
And no one has ever, seen the creator, but you feel it. You feel it within all of us.
Yeah.
And I think that what's going on with, the reloaded part, it's almost like he was confused when people would come at him and be like, hey, and he's like, okay, I'm just a man. That's, yeah, you got to twist it.
Yeah.
And I've
Yeah.
heard Red go like that. He's like, hey, hey, I'm just somebody trying to start a revolution here. You know what I mean? Let's
Mhm.
not worship false idols. Let's not worship men. LeVar is a man who puts his pants on one leg at a time like everybody else. And
Exactly.
you have people that he is their world. They make all of their money off of everything that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, they worship it, man. You know what?
Yeah, it's fucking worship,
That shit
and
is
it's ridiculous.
unhealthy. Yeah, that's unhealthy, man. You know what I mean? It's you never look. The only person that or entity that you should look up to is the Most High. You know what I mean? And that's it.
Absolutely.
But when you have pictures of that's why I never have pictures of basketball players or just people in general on my wall, man. That's man, that's simpish right there, man. I'm sorry, man. Like that's a bit too much. You know what I mean? Like I don't look up to people like that. I admire their abilities. I do, but I'm not
I
a
ain't even going front. I got a couple Prince posters up here.
Oh yeah, okay. Okay, that's you. All right. I'm not gonna
But I
compare.
got Bob Marley, I got
Yeah,
John Lennon, I got it's my music room.
yeah,
So
That's your
But
music.
there's a difference between putting them up and actually worshiping.
Worshiping, yeah, like creating shrines of these guys. You know what I mean? Like, nah, that's
Right.
I don't do that shit. You know, but it's all good though. To each their own. To each their own. But at the end of the day, man, the that adoration of human beings. You know, I think that's the reason why when we live in such a society today. You know what I mean? Why there
Human
are
beings are lost, man.
just lost. Yeah.
They're looking for something to grab onto. They're looking for somebody to lead them to the promised land. You know what I mean? And you have to look within yourself for that. You're already at the promised land. You don't even know it.
Exactly. You know what I mean? I mean, you gotta hold on to yourself, man. Hold on to yourself. Value
That's
you.
it.
You know what I mean? If you're looking to another person for your
Salvation,
salvation,
happiness.
man, it's just not gonna get you anywhere, honestly, at the end of the day. You know, it's just unhealthy, you know. Look to them for inspiration, but you don't actually look to them for salvation. Yeah. So
So,
yeah.
and then the third one,
Hmm.
you got Smith the agent, which is the virus, took over. And to me, I equate that with COVID-19.
Wow. Powerful.
COVID-19 is just like Smith the virus because we got a virus that's circulating throughout humanity. And
Yeah.
now we have all the variants, the Delta, and all of that. To me, and I could be wrong, I almost feel like it was inserted purposely to, control the population.
Yeah.
Really.
Wow.
You know,
That's a powerful reference there. I totally agree with you on that. I think that, man, with this whole COVID 19
the
thing,
Bible talks about the plague. I mean,
the-
it's crazy.
yep. I mean, who's to say, man, this whole thing is real? Honestly, this virus, it's like, yeah, it's real, but man, it's a whole, I think, I just an agenda, man, just to scare a lot of people as well. The whole world has lost their minds, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's honestly scary, you know, just going to the shops and everything, and they make a big deal of like, "Where's your mask?" You know,
Stand 6 feet apart.
yeah, 6 feet apart, as if that's gonna help anyone. You know what I mean?
JJ,
Yes.
I'm finally back. Thank y'all for inviting me on the show. Thank you, JJ, for
Most
being
definitely.
gracious and even doing this topic, man. This is an amazing topic. You guys are on fire. You're staying consistent, and all of us in new media, and I'm sure so many other people are thankful that you've gotten your stream consistent because you've been putting out a lot of fire content that people need that is going to help them long term. A lot of your streams have playback value, sister. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
Where
you.
it's not always about the live stream, but it's about later on where people can really sit down and break that down and replay it. So thank you for inviting me on and what's going on to my brother DZ. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing good, brother. Red. Thank you so much for joining us, man. I appreciate you, man, as always.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining because, it's the stuff that, we talk about at New Media needs to be heard. We're not, to your point, all roses and sunshine. These are things that I try to get people's minds right, Rev. You know what I mean? I try to do streams that get people's minds right. And right now, I was telling Queen and DZ earlier, I have to, insert myself into more communities that want to hear that type of thing because, I'm in my comfort zone. I'm in my comfort zone. Tap was saying this last week. He was like, get out there to different people. We can support each other, but at the end of the day, we're what, 5, 10 people? What good is it going to do if we're all just coming into each other's streams? We have to have other people interacting and getting this message that we're giving. So I'm tasking myself and challenging myself to do that within these next couple of weeks, just to build that following so that more people can hear this. Because with all the stuff going on here, I feel like we are in that revolution that's like in the Matrix movies. I really do. I
Yeah.
feel like all of that is the machines, all of it. The vaccine, COVID itself, Okay, climate control, chemtrails, all that shit is the Matrix.
I mean, well, sister, man, I think you're spot on. Let's just talk about it since we're about it. What we're going through in new media right now is a natural progression for anyone that ever tried to bring truth. If you bring truth, or you call yourself a bringer of truth, and people don't look at you as controversial, divisive, or problematic, then you're not really bringing truth.
Facts.
If you look at the Buddha, when the Buddha came, he was looked at as a troublemaker. He was looked at as divisive. If you look at Yeshua or Isa or Jesus or whatever you want to call him, he was looked at by the Sadducees and the Pharisees as a rebel or someone who was problematic to certain sections of the Jewish faith.
That's
If
what
you look
got
at
him killed.
That's what got him killed. If you look at Helen of Troy, so you never
Mhm.
want to be standing on the side of the group. You know, as far as the followers, I'm looking at a young lady on the screen, or one of the supporters, Danetta 27. She wasn't a part of new media. She wasn't a part of any of our channels just 2 or 3 months ago. But this is someone who has come in and she's listened, and she's, giving her input as well. But we're obviously doing something to inspire something. So the followers will always come. We're just living in a day and age, or not the followers, I say supporters will always come. We're living in a day and age where telling the truth is worse than telling a lie. People would rather hear a lie than the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
That's just
Fact.
the reality. As far as this breakdown on the Matrix, I want to say this real quick. I'm sorry because I'm transitioning. I just got back to Atlanta today, and I got to be back in Charlotte Tuesday. Get ready for the season. So,
Wow, you just traveling.
oh, we working, sis. We working. We about to do this. But the Matrix one, the Matrix and the Terminator was written by a sister, Sophia Stewart. This is a true story. She wrote the Matrix and she wrote the Terminator. And I can't think of the names of the directors of the actual films, but they found her story and they took her story and they made the Matrix, but they really took it from Sophia's store. So shout out to Sophia.
Wow. I remember hearing about that. The Wachovia brothers or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I remember hearing about that. She said she actually wrote it.
That's why you get to see so many differences. And she actually won a huge settlement. Like, so this is factual. Uh, the,
Wow.
the Terminator series and the Matrix series is the same thing. John Connor is supposed to represent Neo, but
Yes.
yeah, but that's getting too, I don't want to knock somebody off, because when you throw Terminator into the Matrix, it makes me not want to watch the Matrix. So let's just deal with the Matrix, all right? If Sister J and J brought it up about movie one being different from the others, the reason movie one was so much different from the others because movie one was based off of the inspiration of Sophia Stewart. Once Sophia Stewart came out, and I may be saying her last name wrong, but once the sister came out, they had to stop using her material for two and three. The best two movies for me are movie one and movie two. And let me tell you why. In movie one, you get to see the presence of light. That movie is about waking people up. That movie is about a spontaneous energy coming from this black woman that
Right.
that wrote this brilliant masterpiece. You understand? Like the part one is a masterpiece. For those that don't know, that movie changed the course of movies forever. No one was doing special effects like they were doing in the Matrix.
Facts. That's what I said in the beginning of the stream.
Mhm.
Yes.
Also,
Bullet
also
time, all that.
exactly. Also, it was before 9/11, so habeas corpus existed at the time, and freedom of speech was it was cool to have freedom of speech. It was cool to have freedom of speech. After 9/11, freedom of speech was gone. That was the beginning of the end of freedom of speech. So
Right.
if you look now, movies are all sugar and red meat content. There's no real message in it. There's no real message against the system. Everything points you towards the system, spending more money. It's one big advertisement. But back then, movies had a purpose that really tapped into
They had a meaning. They're
a meaning.
cartoons now. Nothing against anime, but you know what I mean? It's not
Right,
anime that I'm talking about, but you know what I'm talking about. Pixar, all of
right,
that is it's not even real.
right. It had a purpose that really taps you into your deeper consciousness. Now, the reason why I like part two as well, the Oracle is represented. Sophia Stewart's character, she wrote herself into it as the Oracle. That is literally Sophia Stewart. If you ever look the sister up, she looks just like the Oracle. Now,
Wow.
they knew she wrote herself into it. In part two, if part one is the response of God to the restlessness of the people, a spontaneous energy coming out of a black woman to write such a beautiful art between the Terminator and the Matrix. Part two is the answer from the system. So if there was a dark energy, part two is the answer from the dark energy. Because if you notice in part two, you get introduced to all new characters. You get introduced to the Merovingian. You get introduced to the architect. And the Merovingian, he has many lines where it sounds like he's talking about the devil. He says to Neo, he says, boy, I survived your predecessors, and
Right.
I'll survive you as well. He spoke many different languages. And anybody who's familiar with the Rolling Stones song "Sympathy for the Devil," they're it's a song in third person, but it's supposed to be the voice of the devil. And he talks about how he speaks many different languages and many different tongues. Well, the Merovingian is like that. He speaks French. He speaks different languages,
Mm-hmm.
and he's the first real, because up until that point, Neo had been such a messianic figure that after part one, no one can really deal with it. But the Merovingian was the first one that was a real challenge for Neo.
Right.
And then JJ, oh my God, the scene of the movie and the plot that they placed on humanity happens when he goes in there with the architect. When he goes in there with the architect, and I don't want to give too much of the movie away, and this is all I'm gonna say.
Right.
When he goes in there and with the architect, they actually took a shot at Sister Sophia, because, not to give too much away, Neo was basically for the first time having to question his existence as his messianic figure. And some of the things the architect says to him makes him feel inadequate, or just like a copy, for lack of a better term.
Right.
So
And it
so
gives the viewer that impression as well.
right. Basically, it's a war. It's basically saying God and that spontaneous gold from nothing energy is nothing. It's nothing but another copy. So Neo looks at him and he says, because he says to Neo, if I am the father of the Matrix, this is the architect speaking. He says she would be the mother, basically alluding to
Right.
her being more powerful. So then Neo says to the architect, he says, who, the Oracle? And then the architect looks at Neo and says, with a sarcastic grin, please, like, no way. And that was a shot at Sophia Stewart. And that's why you see the arc of the original Matrix really get washed out, because from that point on, they abandoned her writings and they tried to do it themselves. Part three was absolute. It was a disappointment. I'm not gonna lie. But part two and part one, J and J, look, you said it, sister. It's so many things that film foretold that is happening now. It's scary. It's scary.
It's like she knew that all this
You're
was.
scary. The way you analyze stuff, man. I thought I was deep. You just go to the depths. You and Bartra and both.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite movies. Like that movie. I'm telling you, that movie changed everything. Like DZ, go
Yeah.
back and look at films before the Matrix, then after the Matrix, and you'll never see another Matrix like this Matrix that comes out, Matrix 4. J and J, would you agree that it's going to be watered down?
Oh, it's got no choice because what they did. It can't be. It's like trying to create a human being all over again.
Wow. So that's
You've
how.
already done it. You broke that mold. Like the only way they could reinvent the human being is to do something where we can fly and all of that. You know what I mean? And that ain't happening. So yeah, they can't reinvent the wheel. They did it in one.
I think it's some of that, but I also think the way the social constructs of society are now and the way everything is controlled, the thing that made The Matrix so powerful is that it was the first movie that made people question whether life was a simulation openly.
Right.
You know, you had Vanilla Sky, but Vanilla Sky was it's so much going on in Vanilla Sky. You're like, what am I watching with Tom Cruise?
Man, it was like an LSD trip.
But
I'm like, that movie fucked me up. I mean,
you know what's wild?
I've watched it one time and that was enough.
You know what's wild?
What?
Other than Gene, DZ, and everybody else listening probably don't know what the hell we talking about. We tripping.
How do you know about Vanilla? That's the wild thing.
Because like I'm a movie buff, so I go back and watch everything old. It doesn't matter. Because when the Matrix came, I think when it came out, 91, I was
The Matrix?
No, I'm saying I was born in 91, so
okay. Yeah, so you was close to 10 years old. You was about 8
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I watched it then, and then I came back. I came back, and I watched it again. That's how I am. Like I can't watch shallow movies. Like I'm not a Fast and the Furious guy.
Yeah.
I can't watch a movie where a car jumps up and jumps off of a ramp.
And they survive and shit.
You know what I'm saying? I can't do it. And if you're gonna do that, you got to give me some kind of supernatural explanation for it, so I can say, okay, all right. This is outside of the laws of physics. But yeah, J&J, man, like if you ever want to do like a Matrix viewing or a Matrix breakdown, critical breakdown, I'll be front row for that every time. Like it's just so many gems. And another thing, in the new Matrix, they don't have Lawrence Fishburne in there, so
I did not like that. And I think the younger guy in it is supposed to represent the younger him.
Yeah, he is.
And I'm not feeling that.
He's supposed to be let's not give away the movie, but remember what the architect said about how that wasn't the first time?
Yeah.
All right, he's another, you know what I'm saying, version.
I tell you what, how about we watch the trailer?
Let's do it.
Thomas? You seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams.
Am I crazy? We don't use that word in here.
Hi.
Have we met?
One pill makes you larger and one pill makes you small, and the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall.
Time to fly.
And if you go chasing rabbits,
If you want the truth, Neo, you're going to have to fly me.
and you know to fall.
The only thing that matters to you is still here. I know it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up. You don't know me, no?
When logic and proportion have fallen, so be dead. And night is talking backwards, and the red queens are ahead. Remember what the dogma
After all these years, to be going back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix.
They had me at White Rabbit Peaks. I'm sorry.
I mean, right?
They got me.
Man.
They got me.
Yeah, the whole White Rabbit deal. I'm like, no, they didn't. And I'm excited for you all because you get to see a Matrix released. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
And not watching it back. You guys get to see 4 from the inception of it. I love it. It's brand new, you know?
Damn. Yo, but like it reminded me like because I watched all the Terminators and Rev, I don't know I don't know if you watched the trailer for the new ones that came out previously, right? Or if you watched the latest ones, but the latest ones just oh my goodness me. I just couldn't, man. It was they completely messed it up, man. They completely messed up, man. The whole storyline, everything. I really don't know. I don't know what you think, man, about the Terminator. Have you guys watched the latest Terminator?
I've never been a Terminator guy, to be honest with you.
Me either. After the second one, I think I was good. I like them. Don't get me wrong, but again, I'm thrown back to I love the first one. I love the whole story of the first one, how they went back. It made me question a whole lot of things, you know, about, you know, going back in your past and then your past creating your future. And I mean, the first one was a lot more philosophical than the rest of them. The rest of them just, to me, were just tech movies. You know what I mean? Nothing against tech movies. Easy. But I feel like the first one had a lot more deeper meaning. And even the second one, when John Connor is a kid and they go back to the factory and they actually, but Moms, man, Moms was on some shit. She had, I mean, she over prepared. She was ready to kill anything that got in her way. She went from the sheep to the wolf 2.0.
Yeah. Oh man, okay, yeah, man. It was crazy. Like the thing is, but I don't know. Like I just felt like the storyline on the first and the second was great, but like after that, it just kind of lost me, man. I really don't know, Rev. I really suggest like I don't know if because you say you say you haven't watched it. Like I really suggest like you watch it. Like
I'll check it out. I mean, I've seen pieces of part 1. I'll be back, and you know all of that. And then I saw the newer one, when they were having the revolution. It's just look, DZ. I'm gonna tell you this: once you go to the Matrix, you're not gonna want to watch Terminator no more.
for real.
The Matrix said back in 2001 or 99, whenever it came out, they were saying stuff that is happening now. Like, for instance, I don't want to freak anybody out. You know, I don't want to go too deep. But have y'all ever been talking about something with someone around you, around your phone, like talking about Baskin Robbins ice cream, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you walk away and you go to another website and an advertisement for Baskin Robbins ice cream pops up on your phone?
Okay, wait a minute, hold up. Jen and I will be talking about something and the fucking commercial will come on the television. Didn't go to a website. That's even
happens.
Scarier.
That happens. Like that's a real
That means
thing.
they're in here.
That's a real thing. Like that's not fake.
Yeah. They're in here. They've infiltrated somehow, some way. And I think it's probably most likely through the iPhone. I mean,
it's through the phone and through a lot of smart TVs.
Right.
You know, but the Matrix called that years ago. You know what I'm saying? It's always a wonder to me how movies like that can happen and people can watch them. They don't make them anymore, but back then, how people could watch those movies and not question their reality. You know what I'm saying? Like how
because art imitates life a lot.
Right, because art imitates life. Yeah. So how do we fall back asleep each time? Each time, like we see this and we know
it's telling you.
But it's like it's predictive programming, really. That's what it is. Like
That's
a
what I'm
lot of
saying.
people.
J and
Yeah,
J don't ever. Real quick, DZ, let me slide this in there.
yeah, yeah.
Y'all don't ever trip about subscribers. Let me tell you why.
Mhm.
This whole goofy conversation that we've had this week, and people, oh, don't go to new media, don't do this, don't do that, and we stand united in a community. Community of what? 1,000 people? It's millions, if not billions, of people on YouTube that don't even know J&J Video exists yet. They don't even know that DZ's Late Night Lounge exists yet, the Lit House, or New Media.
That's right.
And the reason for that is just like on the Matrix, you are controlled and restricted. Your channel is in an algorithm. It's like imaginary walls that people don't even see them. So
Right.
they don't know you're there. You're in the next room screaming, "Hey, I'm over here," but they can't get to you because they don't even know you exist.
Right.
That's the dangers of the algorithm, and that's why we got to speak the way that we speak, so that when the people do find us, they can say, "Okay, this is a different way of thinking. This path was never meant for restrictive views, where we fall into the algorithm." But look, there's huge communities, J&J, that talk about this particular stuff. The stuff that you've been doing this week, people talk about it and they want to hear it. They just got to know you're out there.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Like
Well,
it.
that's my mission. That's what I'm on. I
Yeah.
mean, Jen, I said, I went to her today and I said, wow, the fuck is wrong with me? How many times have I been on your page? Hardly ever, but you're always in my streams. You're always there. She's got a whole slew of people, of vegans, you know what I mean, that are into health and things like that. And where there's physical health, mental health is right around the corner. So they're intertwined. Why have I not tapped into my own wife's shit? You know what I mean? I mean, that's just a start.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But when you talk about Facebook, I mean, I have a whole J&J video group that I haven't been back to in months that was beginning to like really grow. And when I was doing cartoons and things like that. So I'm like, wow, man, I have, I don't know, I've just been, me talking about, I'm limiting myself.
Yeah.
Me. What have I been talking about? Not doing that. And I'm doing that. But you know what? I equate it to laziness. And so that stops, that
Yeah.
stops now.
Rev, I was telling JJ and Queen this morning, I was like, because I was like, man, like I gotta be more creative with my things and everything. Just put my more videos out and all that. Because it's like I was looking at my numbers and all that, and I'm like, oh shoot, like it was just like it's so easy to feel down about it, like when you first start, but it's like you gotta keep on going and everything. And I was like, I can know, and talk pretty much going back to what you said about the whole new media thing. Was like I learned so much about myself during that process. You know what I mean? Like I talk about on my on the like on the video I bring out today. Like you have to go through a lot of trials and tribulations when you start like any organization or any revolution. You have to go through the cracks in order to come out of it victorious. You know what I mean? And I think that's what we're going through right now. So for me, I'm just learning a lot, you know what I mean, and in this YouTube thing, but not only YouTube thing, just content creating, but what we're doing right now, just making sure that we provide the information that everybody needs out here, and we're authentic with ourselves. So just having
Absolutely.
family like you and Jane, JJ, self-made Queen, everybody in the whole gang, it makes me more confident each day that I do have the best people in my the best
Shit,
family in my corner. Yeah.
that's the thing. It doesn't, that part of it, Rev, and I'm not scared of that because I know it's like that something like that minute would never scare me away from this. I'm looking inward because I control that. Okay, in a sense, I that's one of the reasons I identify with Neo so much because I am Neo in my mind, and I know that if I do the
Fire,
right,
that's fire. That's fire. Will you say that
you,
again?
yeah, I don't care if it's 0 subscribers because I know if I do the things I need to do, that's going to change. So, and it's only because I've been there. You know what I mean? I've done that before. I have created something out of nothing and it's grown beyond what I could handle. So I know it's just a different animal. It's just a different puzzle piece. That's all. It's just a different puzzle. You just got to put the puzzle together like you did the other puzzle. And it's like, okay, I've been asleep at the wheel. You know what I mean? I just got 200 subscribers, not doing jack shit for real. Okay? So when I really focus in, oh, it's over.
It's done.
It's over.
Well,
So I don't worry about that. And I've never once gotten down about it or scared or, oh God, why aren't people? I'm like, yeah, that's my own fault because I'm not going and getting them. Yeah,
Sis said,
I'm not going and getting them.
she said, I am Neo. Fire.
facts.
That's how I think.
Facts.
That's why I love that movie so much. I see myself in him, I see him in all of us in this organization and what we're doing. That's why I'm sticking with it. That's why I'm with it. Despite the haters, despite all the videos that
Uh,
are being made outside of the organization about the organization, that I'm like, you know what? I'm in the right place.
yeah,
Because if they're not doing that, you're not having an effect.
exactly. That's just part of the game, man. It's part of the game, you know what I mean? And that's what it's part of the game and it's part of the process, you know what I mean? And for me, never a day did I tell myself that this was I'm not with I'm not involved with the right brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? And it's just been a beautiful journey and all in all, man, and ups and downs and all. But it's part of it, you know. And I truly
Yep.
enjoy the process. And for me, I will tell you this: when I first started last year, you know my story and everything, and what I went through. I never thought I would start the year just making content again and collaborating with brothers, great brothers such as Brother Rev and a great sister such as you, Sister JJ, and Queen and Tap and everyone in new media. So honestly, for me to be part of this and doing this with y'all, man, it's a blessing and it's an honor, man. And I truly embrace every single moment of it, honestly.
Well, it's been a blessing having you on here, my brother. It really has. You got a lot of insights, DZ, you know what I mean? And you've been through a lot of experiences that, can help a lot of people
Most
because
definitely.
they see that you've come through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
No.
keep pushing, keep doing what you're doing because we're on the right track, man. You know,
All
just
right.
got to
Yeah.
stay consistent.
That's for sure. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Anybody else have anything? What is that comment? Let me see here. I had to put it up on the screen because I saw it was like, wow, Danetta went ballistic over there. Hold up. Okay, so she's saying, I felt like it struck a what?
Oh, she said that I felt like I struck a pot of gold finding y'all. Like
Aw,
four steaks, Kool-Aid, backbone talks and food for thought, soul food in one family. You're all dope. That's good of you, Donetta. Thank you so much. Like,
thank you, baby girl. Do me a favor and share it. Share it with as many people as you can because then we will really have a community in here of like minded thinkers and people that will keep spreading that message. Because when you share it, then other people will share it and then they'll tell some two friends and they'll tell two friends and so on and so on. And that's how it works. So do me a favor and share it.
most
And I
definitely.
appreciate you so much.
Mhm. Share
Rev,
that.
you got anything else you want to add? DZ, anything else?
I'm really muzzling myself because we'll be going for 10 hours.
Yeah.
I'm with this right here. So I appreciate you for letting me come on. Thank y'all for everything y'all doing.
Hey man, we got to do it again.
I'm
We got
with
to
it.
do it again.
I'm with it.
We got to do it again. We'll come back with some different content and hit some different points that we may not have covered tonight because there's so much you can hit with this.
Yeah, I'm with it anytime.
All right, DZ, anything else you want to add in?
Oh no, thank you so much as always. Thank you for letting me come into your stream and sharing beautiful ideas. Sister J, just to truly appreciate you and everybody that's pulling through and is pretty much willing to hear what we have to share and what you have to share. It's always a great experience and shout out to brother Rev for coming in and obviously sharing his amazing experiences and his insights on how everything is. So I truly appreciate each one of you.
If you didn't take your shoes off, make sure you do that for me, please. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Subscribe to DG's Late Night Lounge. He's on at 12:30 Eastern Time.
You
And shout out to Brother Revs. Subscribe to King Fuse Lit House. Always bringing the fire content. Subscribe to Brother Bartran, Self Made, Tap In. Juju knows hoops, and Juju knows hoops. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Vegan Knowledge. Thank you, Danetta. Thank you, any and everybody that's in the chat. I don't know if I've seen everybody. I don't know if Anthony King and King C are in here, but normally they're in here. Shout out to them wherever they are if they're not. Um, and thank you all. Thank you all for being my family. And thank you for supporting.
All right, thank you so much, sister. You
All
truly
right.
appreciate it. Have a good
We
night.
out.